We're so delighted to be able to share with you this wonderful summit, Enlightened Women Enlightened You, Real Women Walking with Spirit. And our special guest today is Ruth Anderson, who's the creator of this wonderful summit. We're going to learn how Archangel Michael inspired this and has really handpicked every single one of the 31 women. Angel Heart Radio programs are powerful tools for transformation, positivity, joy, and hope. They should not be used to replace your legal or medical advice. Welcome to Angel Heart Radio, where we celebrate you. We celebrate your divine connection. We celebrate your magnificence. We celebrate you as a beautiful being here on planet Earth, sharing your love and your light. We are so blessed to have amazing hosts here on Angel Heart Radio. We fan your seeds of hope and we help you to plant more. AngelHeartRadio.com is our station and AngelLight777.com is our big sister. All the links, the series, host information, how to visit us, and really how to receive the best from Angel Heart Radio, and a whole lot more besides. Thank you for choosing to be with us on Angel Heart Radio. We're so grateful to share with you. Powered by love, Angel Heart Radio is brought to you by AngelLight777.com. And we are powered by love. And I tell you what, today we're also powered by gratitude and excitement. We're really excited to share this show with you. It's going to mean such a lot to such a lot of people. I'm Anayah Joi Holilly. I'm one of your hosts today on Enlightened Women Enlightened You, Real Women Walking with Spirit. Thank you so much for choosing to join us. We're really grateful to be able to share this wonderful information with you. Hi, Carol.
Hi, Anayah. Good morning, everybody. I'm Carol Ann Cross, and I'm very excited to be here today as well. A little bit more about our journey is going to be shared with everybody with this wonderful summit, Enlightened Women Enlightened You. And it's being It's coming from Dr. Ruth Anderson, and I'm excited to be talking to Ruth today.
And that's a great opportunity. Let's welcome you in, Ruth. Ruth Anderson, thank you so much for joining us.
It is absolutely my pleasure. Thank you.
Aren't we just so fortunate that we are here together in this moment, and the three of us, which is such a beautiful number for a start, are able to share what this summit really means, Ruth, for people, women, people all over the world, and not only what the summit has to share, but what the opportunities are for the individual women, the individual people who will listen, and the individual women who will share on this summit.
So, Anayah, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to talk about the summit tonight. First, I want to say that this summit is a gift from Archangel Michael. It was 100% his idea. I'm assuming he's the one that came up with it. All I know is he's the one I heard it from. And he has guided every piece of this summit, including how it was going to be configured, who was going to be speaking in it, and even what the participants of the summit would be able to do to create community with each other. So I'm so excited to tell you each of those different aspects.
And isn't that the key word here? It's all about community, isn't it? We live in an age now where we are so incredibly fortunate that we can reach out to people and connect with people around the globe. So our community has become one that, 20 years ago was just really being, the tip of the iceberg was coming to the surface, really. 50 years ago, it was never even dreamed of.
Correct. And I think it's fascinating that the angels know about our technology. They might have even had something to do with creating it. It wouldn't surprise me. But they're guiding me on how to use the technology to reach a larger audience. I love that. I mean, literally, I will be in meditation, and Archangel Michael will say, create a Facebook post. And I'll say, well, what do you want me to say? And he tells me what to include in the Facebook post. They are using technology to create a community and connection with other people to bring in more divine light and encourage transformation for other people. It's really quite fascinating.
It really is, and it shows, doesn't it, that everything we need will be provided if we are willing to take those first steps. Now, everyone, enlightenedworld.online is your go-to, and you will find the summit information there. You can RSVP there. It's a free RSVP, which means that you will be able to receive these videos directly to your email every single day for 31 days. So, Carol, I'd like to hand over to you now and invite you to share with us your participation, because you and I are both speakers. We're really fortunate to be involved in this. So what's it been like for you, given that this is brand new for you? There's a lot of people listening who this world is brand new to as well. What's it been like for you being able to be a part of your very first summit, and such an amazing one at that?
Well, it's a bit overwhelming at times, in the beginning anyway, because to me it was so different and so new. And sometimes when you live your life and you just keep going along in your daily life, you just think that, well, my life's not all that exciting. I don't have anything that someone would be interested in. And then when you stop and you realise, because of the information and talking to Ruth, you realise that, yes, your life can affect others in the fact that you have healed from something that was so traumatic at the time, and going ahead and learning more about your spiritual life. It's, as I said to Ruth, it's part of my healing and my growth, because I'm having to step out of my comfort zone and be available, and I'm really loving it. I'm really loving it. And I was blown away when Ruth said that Archangel Michael had asked that I would be one of the people on the summit. And I just didn't know really what to say in the beginning, because it was just overwhelming. But I am just so excited and wanting to participate in every single part of the summit, because there's so many aspects in the summit.
That's absolutely perfect. So let's talk about some of these aspects, Ruth. You have gathered to you, directed by Archangel Michael, 31 spirited women from around the world, and invited us all to share parts of our journey. But the thing I really love, the thing I love the most, is not one of us claimed to have all the answers. So can you share with us how that came about for you? We know it was Archangel Michael. How did it happen? And a little bit about the summit itself, so that when people click on your website, enlightenedworld.online, and click the RSVP for free summit here button, what they can expect to receive.
Sure. So, Anayah and Carol, I don't know about you, but so many times when I'm on Facebook or social media and I see a light worker, someone who works with energy or divine light, doing a presentation or checking in on Facebook, it looks like they have their act all together. I mean, they've got the makeup on and you just think they've had a great day. And it's a little daunting, at least it has been for me, because I thought these people had it all together. And that made me think, for me to put myself out there and share something in the world, I had to have my act 100% together. And I don't know about you, but I so rarely have my acts all together. And Archangel Michael was showing me that real women are having real lives, walking with spirit, and they don't always have it all together. And that's what, frankly, people need to see. that it's okay to have health issues. It's okay to have money issues. It's okay to have relationship issues and still be walking with spirit. And when we do walk in connection with the spiritual divinity, it brings a different perspective to those life issues. It brings different guidance that we wouldn't have otherwise. And we know that we are not alone in this journey that we call life. So this summit is bringing real women and their real stories of struggle and heartache and how they walked through it in their relationship with spirit. And what is so beautiful about these speakers is that they are making themselves accessible. They're not always perfect, but they know who to go to for answers. And they are making themselves accessible to this community of people joining the summit. And that's a beautiful gift that is part of this summit, is the building of community with the speakers as well as the participants.
Yeah, that's absolutely wonderful. And I love that. And it's really true. We can seem like we've got it all together, can't we? And it's so important that we are transparent, because nothing gets done on a pedestal except falling off it. And case in point, when we filmed my interview that day, so by the time you guys see it, it's going to be all edited and running smoothly. You should have seen what was going on in the background. The dogs were barking crazily. They were banging on the door. They barked for about 10 minutes. We had to stop the interview and wait for that period of time to pass, because there were some things going on in the neighbourhood that they were responding to, and we couldn't control that. And Ruth, you were so incredibly gracious. I mean, amazingly gracious. You were so calm and centered, because I was panicking, as you remember. And it really showed that when we take a breath, let go of the stuff we can't control, which is so much of our lives, and focus on the parts we can control, which is our choice. So we chose to wait. We chose to write it out. You chose to have it edited. And everything will come together in a way that will be supportive to other people. So look at you. You're living exactly what this summit is about.
Well, I think we all are, really. Each of the speakers is living such a genuine life and allowing other people to see that. I think that's a beautiful thing, really.
I agree.
Yes, I
and
agree.
It's also, Carol's yay.
That's all right. I've just turned my mic back on again. Yes, I've just turned myself back on again. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yep, we can.
Okay. And I agree thoroughly. We just need to put ourselves out there, because nobody's life is perfect. And for people, I think it's interesting that people get to see all the little bumps along our highways and how we've managed to make our way over that little bump and then come back down onto the smooth part of the highway. And I just had to mute myself because the washing machine was going madly in the background. So, and that was creating a lot of noise. Not as much noise as the dogs would have probably been making, but, I had to think about that. And I agree thoroughly with something you said before, Ruth, when I've looked on Facebook and you see perfect lives and you think, well, my life's not perfect, so they must have something special that I don't have. And that's not correct. That's just the image that they're putting up. And I think that's the wonderful thing about the summit, that people can see who the real speakers are, hear their real stories, and understand that they can get through whatever it is they're getting through as well. And this is one of the glorious things with being able to call on the angels to support us in those times.
Absolutely. And that's a massive part of this summit, for which I really think is so brilliant and will be incredibly supportive because of that aspect. So, Ruth, we've all spoken about this in our pre-launch meetings. This particular summit is called Empowered Women, Empowered You, and we've spoken about, so what about the men and all the people who don't identify with a specific gender? So this is a launching platform, isn't it? And every single person, whether you're a man watching this or someone who doesn't relate to a gender, we all have feminine aspects. So it's going to speak to every one of us on some level, and very important levels, Ruth.
So, Anayah, that's so fascinating that you brought that up. So it's actually Enlightened Women Enlightened You. However, I really like the empowered because that's the intention. The intention is to support spiritual transformation. So I love that empowered piece. That's the next summit, and it's perfect.
Yeah, well, that was kind of sorry, that was a blooper right there. But yeah, hey, it's important. Yeah,
I love that. But let me tell you, Archangel Michael gave me the names of who to interview, and every morning before an interview, I would sit in meditation and I would say, okay, today I'm interviewing Rebecca Abraxas. What am I talking to her about? Because I didn't know. And Archangel Michael would tell me. So with Rebecca Abraxas, it was talk to her about forgiveness and parenting. And then I would text or email Rebecca and say, Archangel Michael wants us to talk about forgiveness and parenting. Do you have anything to say about that? And she, of course, said, absolutely. I absolutely have, I'm walking that right now. So, yes. And that happened with every show except for one. And that one, it was with Elena Ivana. And Elena is a beautiful woman from Toronto, and she was originally from Bulgari? No, one of the B names. I can't remember for sure. And Archangel Michael said, talk about gender identity. And I said, oh, okay. So I reached out to Elena, and I said, Archangel Michael wants us to talk about gender identity and the acceptance, and I'm getting goosebumps as I'm saying this, the acceptance on a spirit level of each and every one of us, no matter what's happening with body, mind, and soul. And one of the questions that I was given to ask was if a person is struggling with the body piece, really struggling with being able to accept who they are in body, can they still work on their soul's calling if they don't bring together body, mind, spirit, and soul? And it was, I still think it's a fascinating question. And it was kind of a tough conversation with Elena because she had not had experience with any client or any family member that was facing that gender identity question. But the issue is so important, and I would want any of your listeners to know that there is so much love for who you are. You are loved. You are perfect, 100% for who you are. And so I just hope that and I know that there is someone who is supposed to hear Elena's conversation because it was very clear that's what we were supposed to talk about. I know there's someone out there, and I hope that person finds us.
I'm sure that they'll be directed by the angels to listen to this because it is such an important subject, and we hear so much about it. And the love aspect, we are loved no matter who or what we are, and that's just so important for all of us because unfortunately people see and hear things in the media and they react to it, but they react out of fear and they don't react out of love. And so for them to know that they're going to be loved no matter what for all of their aspects is so important. And I know that there will be somebody out there, I'm sure, who will respond to that and to relate to that. So it's a very important thing. And how wonderful is it that, you have this communication with Archangel Michael, and he is able to guide you and come to the relevant topic for that particular person. It's just a wonderful connection you have with him.
Yes. Yeah, I feel so blessed. But then I also want to say I believe everybody can have that kind of amazing connection with the archangels and with God, Divine Mother. I really think we're all born with that ability. It's a matter of maybe dusting off all that society has put on us to say, don't do that. It's not natural. It is so natural.
Yes, it is so natural, and it's something that I do every day. I talk to the archangels as well as to my angels, and it's something that I encourage everybody to do because it's just a wonderful connection, and the love is just amazing that you feel. But I think it's your connection with Archangel Michael and how he has guided you to do the summit and for all that you've done in the summit. It's just a wonderful example. And the fact that it comes back to trusting and belief and love. And you do all of those things. You trust what he tells you, you believe what he tells you, and the love that is wrapped in that tale is just amazing. I love it. I just love it.
What I love about the summit is that it is a gift from Archangel Michael to everyone who wants to participate. And every day as I was interviewing the women, it felt like I was unwrapping a Christmas present or a birthday present because I didn't know most of these women. And so I couldn't wait to unwrap it and open it and figure out why Archangel Michael wanted me to interview that particular person. And I hope that when people are listening to the videos, they get a sense of that because these are awesome, awesome women.
Yes,
now,
they
Ruth,
certainly are.
If you knew in the beginning, Ruth, what this really was going to entail, the amount of pieces of this jigsaw puzzle, the amount of faith, trust, time, effort, like if you knew what this was really going to be about, do you think you would have gone ahead with it?
No, honestly, no, because no, I mean the hours, and I don't mind. I miss my daughters a little bit right about now, but the amount of learning has been huge in so many different areas, but I'm so thankful for it. So I don't regret that for a minute. But, Archangel Michael was very smart in not giving me the entire picture because my brain would have tried to figure out how to make it work. And the beautiful thing about was my brain was not involved at all. All I did was say, okay, bring it to me. Okay, make it happen. Okay, open that door. And darn it, if it hasn't happened.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the real key. I'm looking at enlightenedworld.online, everyone. I invite you to go and have a look too. You can just scroll, down the page. You'll be able to meet the speakers. And I'm looking at some of these women, some whom I know, some whom I've met. What they're bringing to the table is fabulous. And we had the great good fortune, Carol and I, of speaking with Olivia Parrud yesterday on A Vision of Angels. What an amazing show that was. What an incredible woman she is. So many of these women are just jumping out at me. Oh, I want to know about you. I want to know about you. The first one that jumped out at me, of course, no prizes for guessing, Carol, is Christy Bright, aligning dogs and owners with love.
Yes.
As soon as I saw it, oh wow, what an inspired thing to do. Because when we get right down to it, and I've never met Christy as yet, but I'm hoping to, when we give love in the world, when we get a dog as a companion, for an example, we need to have a balance in all of our relationships, including those with our animal companions. When we don't understand where we are out of balance, we then try and get from, in this instance, our animals. And if they misbehave or don't fall into alignment, it causes a lot of pain and confusion and suffering on both sides. So no matter, and the reason I'm saying this is no matter what it is in your world where you are looking to find some balance and some peace, I would be quite happy to say I am sure that at least one of these women will have a little piece of your puzzle to help you with an aha moment so that you can create that in your own world for yourself with their assistance, not them telling you how to do it. That's the thing I love about the summit. No one is telling anybody else, we've got it together. You need to come to me and work with me so your life will come into balance. It's about, hey, this is what I can offer you for free. I could share this with you out of my heart to help you if it feels right to you. So well done, Ruth. I love that aspect.
Thank you. Can I share the opportunities for people that are members of the group? Would that be all right?
Oh, please do.
Okay. So if somebody signs up for the summit, and we hope that you will, they automatically get invited to a private Facebook group. And this private Facebook group is a safe place for you to meet the other participants and the speakers and to share your story. Maybe ask some questions, reach out to someone and ask the questions. It's a community. And Archangel Michael asked us to provide that. And the other thing he asked us to do was to have the opportunity for people to write a chapter for a book. And they're called anthologies, and we've got 2 of them lined up. Archangel Michael has asked for people to write about a spiritual learning, a life lesson on their spiritual journey, and hoping for something kind of recent, but if the particular thing you want to write about happened when your daughter was 6, Carol, that's beautiful, right? So whatever it is that speaks to you, but you're sharing that and you're finding a platform and a voice for getting your message out into the world. So cannot wait to see these 2 anthologies come together. And Archangel Michael has asked to please have them ready so people can get them for Christmas presents. So we're on a bit of a timeline here, but, I believe it can happen.
We know that there is a deadline for the anthology, for the first anthology, but is there a deadline for the second one that people can, the ones that everybody can participate in? Is there a deadline for that, Ruth?
It is the same deadline. It's September 22nd, actually. So, and the reason behind that is there's a lot of work to be done pulling together an anthology and getting it ready to go to print. So we need time in order to be able to get it ready. We want to have a beautiful launch for each of them. And frankly, we want to see if we can't get international bestseller status with Amazon on both of them. So that's going to be our goal, because I could not be more excited than to have someone like Carol, who has never written a chapter for a book, and to help her get bestseller status.
Well, that could put on the CV, couldn't it? Yes, I love it too.
I love it.
It's a bit daunting, but I love it.
Yeah, and listen, this is what it is, isn't it? All of these women in their own way have stepped out of their comfort zones in one way or another, and many, many times over throughout their life experience. This, to me, is just so brilliant. Because, again, it's not about we've got the answers for you. It's that, hey, this is how I found some of my answers, or how I presently am finding them. And that may be very inspiring to another who is currently in that search, because it feels like a search, doesn't it? When you just can't quite get it together, or you just can't quite put your finger on what it is you need to be doing next, or something you put a lot of time and energy into didn't pan out the way you want to. So was that a waste of time? Was my guidance wrong? Like, what does that mean? There are many questions we're asking ourselves on this journey.
Right. And to tell you, I was having a conversation with a gentleman named Bruce yesterday, and he said, I was telling him about the anthology, and he said, I want to be a writer. And I said, Bruce, how about you change what you're saying now, and you just say, I am a writer. And he went, oh, I am a writer. He said, and I'm going to create a chapter for the anthology. It's like, okay, perfect. I am a writer. So there is a growth step in here for so many of us. And for some, it's going to be to write that chapter. For some, it's going to be to participate in the Facebook group. So I'm excited about the personal growth and transformation for anybody who's willing to come to the table at this summit.
Wonderful. So what can you tell us? I'm looking at, again, enlightenedworld.online. I'm looking at all the guest speakers that you have on participating in the summit. Someone's really grabbing my attention in this moment, Pamela Olivia Brown. What can you tell us about Pamela?
Oh, I love Pamela. Pamela, she used to be one of the hosts on International Angels Network, and that's where I had seen her work. Pamela is such a beautiful spirit, and Archangel Michael and Archangel Gabrielle are working double time on her right now to bring poetry into the world. And not only that, but to reach out to children and help them create poetry and get in touch with their spiritual side. And I have promised Pamela that if she does that, then she can put some of this children's poetry up on Enlightened World Online. So, yes, the spiritual divinity is working with her. She is beautiful. I can't wait for you all to meet her.
Some of these women, it's amazing, isn't it? When you get drawn to someone, it's usually because, it's always for a very good reason. It's usually because they have something to share with us that is important for us on our particular journey. And I want to say to everyone, when you're looking at the women's faces on enlightenedworld.online, and you'll find the Enlightened Women Enlightened You section there, go and have a look. Really pay attention to who draws you in. Make sure you listen to at least their interview. They will have something important to share with you. And it's your soul calling you. It's the guidance that's working through us, Ruth, isn't it? And Carol, I know you're very good at following your guidance. I know you personally. I know you do this in your own world on a regular basis.
Yes, and that's a major part of my life. But I'm just having a look at the speakers, and somebody who gets my attention is Sharon Rhea. Is that how you say her surname? And I love the words
Rhea.
Sharon Rhea. I just love the words that she's written there, and so she just got my attention when I was looking through the speakers. So can you tell us a little something about Sharon?
Yeah, happy to. Sharon Rhea is, again, an amazing woman. She lost contact with her daughter through divorce, actually. And as she has gotten to the point where she knows she can have great love for her daughter, spirit to spirit, but she's not in communication with her daughter, which is just killing her, right? But she knows that she can always reach out to her daughter in spirit, and that hopefully her daughter will return to her one day. But Sharon is a family counselor who teaches the adage of no judgment, just love.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
yes.
that can hold true for all of us.
And when you think about those words, no judgment, just love, when you really think about those words in the context of a divorce has occurred and she has lost communication with her daughter, you really think about that. That's powerful. When she can come to, and both Carol and I met Sharon on one of the meetings we had, on camera meetings, and she just grabbed me. There was something about her that I found I just was so drawn to her. And now I didn't know that part of her story. Carol, we need to talk to Sharon on air. That's a huge message for people. We've had callers, we have listeners who are in the same situation and struggle so desperately with it. What a beautiful thing she's doing to be of service to people. So again, if that's part of your story and you're listening to this, Sharon Rhea, sign up. It's a free RSVP for the whole of the 31 days, the 31 interviews. Pay attention to what she has to say to you, what she has to share with you. It may be a wonderful stepping stone for you out of your own pain and into a freedom you are always hoping for, but maybe never achieved so far. Beautiful, Ruth.
There are some very difficult stories out there among these women. One of the women, Sylvia Ferrero, had dealt with addiction issues and suicide issues. I mean, it doesn't get much more real than that. Two of our speakers, Camille DeSalm and Terry Angel, both dealt with cancer. Camille she still was receiving treatment when we were interviewing. And their interview was fascinating to me because so often you hear the doctors say, hate the cancer and fight the cancer and, tell it to leave you and go to hell and, turn on that part of you that has the cancer. And both women said, I can't do that. I had to love the cancer. And the conversation, particularly that Camille had with her cancer, was fascinating. And their interview is being presented September 30th. If anybody in your audience is dealing with cancer, I wholeheartedly would love to have you listen to that interview with them. Just stunning, really.
Yeah. That's absolutely wonderful. And again, as you say, we are given these fear messages about how we've got to fight and banish and that. And I heard Louise Hay say this years ago, and it really struck home with me when she was talking about cancer. And she said, if you are a peaceful person, then using aggressive words like kill will never work for you. If you're a peaceful person, you need to use peaceful methods. And what you've said there is in complete alignment with that. And we all know how amazing Louise's teachings were, and I'm sure continue to be from wherever she's currently, and through women like you, because this inspiration is global. It's not, it can't confine it. And when I look at Sylvia Ferrero, when I look at her picture, like you'd never believe looking at this gorgeous, light-filled young woman that she has ever experienced addiction and suicide in any form. So you just can't tell by looking at someone, can you?
No, you really can't. And Karen D. Anderson, when you look at her picture, she found herself in a shelter because she wasn't able to make the bills. And the self-flogging that went on, the guilt and the shame. And she really learned how to love herself in grace. and to turn and share that with other people in the shelter. It was beautiful. I mean, her conversation just brought tears. It was stunning, truly stunning.
Yeah, she's an amazing lady. We've had her on A Vision of Angels, and her story is beautiful, and it is just so wonderful for everybody out there to hear, because sometimes we believe that what is happening in our life couldn't possibly have happened in anybody else's life, and you know, how are we ever going to get through it? But when we can hear the stories from these beautiful, beautiful guests on the show, on the summit, then you just know that you're not alone anymore. There's always, not only do you have the angels to support you, but you can see that somebody else has come through a situation like you, and they've come through in a loving way, because, you know, love and connection to the angels, and also just to believe in ourselves sometimes is a very important thing for all of us. And that's one of the wonderful things that I see coming from this beautiful summit that Archangel Michael and you, Ruth, are putting together.
Yeah, the stories are so real, so authentic, and so touching. And I think most of us can find at least one of these women and say, I get that. I hear this, and I understand this. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, that's what's so exciting, because I think that it's to be able to hear from the heart the stories from these beautiful ladies, beautiful women, and to know where they are now in their lives compared to where they were. And when we look at Karen, for example, because we have spoken to her, and where she is now, and she is just the most amazing person. But who would have believed, as you say, where that living in the homeless shelter, etc., and what how she has grown from that as part of her journey to be now the kindness queen that she is. And she said at the schools they call her Miss Kindness. And what a beautiful, beautiful thing that is. And I'm sure that applies to everybody on the summit that is coming to us very shortly. It's coming up very quickly, isn't it? That must be very exciting for you, Ruth.
It is a little scary too, I'll be honest with you. But let me make sure people know. So Karen Palmer is the kindness queen. Karen Anderson is the one that had the stint in the homeless shelter. So two different women there.
Okay, because Karen Palmer was also homeless. She lived in her car with her little dog. So she was
I didn't know that.
She was also homeless as well, and she has amazing things to share about that. And she's on Angel Heart Radio, every Monday in the USA. I think it's 5 p.m. Pacific, but please check that out.
It is.
And
it is.
which is Tuesday in the USA, 5 Pacific. Okay. So there you go. It just goes to show that, see the interconnection between people. We're talking about Karen Anderson, but really Karen Palmer also comes into play here with her experiences in many, many ways and what she learned. And she learned so much from when she was living in her car with her little dog. And her story is actually on Angel Heart Radio. You can find it there. So she's another great example of how here she is doing this amazing work. She's Miss Kindness. She's also known as Mindful Media Mom on all social networks. And there you go, a little sneak peek into Karen's world as well. Everything has an incredible purpose and time. And when we're willing to allow the tune to play out instead of trying to squish it and make it something different or more acceptable or change what we feel we can't change, there is a rhythm, there is a rhyme, isn't there, that begins to unfold for us as we take these chances and walk these paths. and have gratitude and love in our hearts as much as we possibly can while we're doing it.
Yes, it's beautiful, and I so appreciate this opportunity to come and share about the summit with your folks. And I do hope, my heart goes back to the reason that you brought up the transgender, the gender identity issues. You brought that up for a reason, and I do hope that whoever you were guided to bring that up for will reach out. I really do.
Wonderful, because this is so valuable and so important. This summit is opening the gates for enlightenment and empowerment for us all where we are right now. So as Ruth said, if you need to reach out, or you'd like to reach out, or you wonder what would happen if you reached out to Ruth, please do, because we want to see everyone, absolutely everyone, enveloped in this amazing love that exists for all people, all beings. And it's time, isn't it? It's time to sweep away the old. What seemed to be important for our society once upon a time in terms of gender roles is no longer important. What's important is acceptance, openness, love for our fellow person. Doesn't matter whether or not you're man, woman, or you don't identify with either of those genders. That's completely irrelevant. So with the RSVP that you can find on enlightenedworld.online, you will find that once you RSVP for every day from September 1st to October 1st, a daily flyer will be sent to your email, and the 31-day summit is free of charge. And participants, you guys can enjoy that. Every single podcast for 72 hours once it's been made available. So you can't download them, but you can watch them as many times as you like. Then, if you want to have the all-access pass, you've got until October 1st. You can sign up for just $99 for that. And after the October 1st, you can still get it as well. That will be $129. So I think that is incredible value, Ruth. And I feel that for someone to be able to have this accessible to them at any time is a real gift, a real bonus that we can give ourselves. Because we might watch someone today or tomorrow or day 30 and get so much out of that conversation. And then a day or a week or a month later, we can go back and watch it again and see what the next layer is for us.
Correct. Plus, there's an appreciation gift for folks who buy the All Access Pass. And there's 5 parts I'll share quickly. There's words of wisdom cards that are created by each of the speakers. There's 46 cards in the deck. There's a beautiful journal that has a quote from each of the speakers, including channeled messages from the spiritual divinity. And Linda Dirks is sharing handbooks on dealing with anxiety and depression through your spiritual walk. And Dr. Heather Harder is providing one of her books. And Sharon Rhea, who you brought up, is providing a CD podcast or a download of positive parenting techniques. So that's an appreciation gift for purchasing the All Access Pass.
Yes, and it's just amazing because each of the speakers, and I can only talk for me, but to have the opportunity to participate in this beautiful summit has for me been not only amazing, but it's also been very healing, and I feel that it's very important in my journey in this lifetime. So I just can only say to everybody, please register. You will get so much out of it because the participants are each speaking from their heart about their life stories that perhaps you can relate to. And then if you wish to have later the All Access Summit Pass, you get the additional gifts. So all I can say is I thank Ruth and Archangel Michael for bringing us this absolutely wonderful summit. And for me, I've learned so much along the way. And my next thing to learn about is to be able to do the Facebook Live when on the 23rd of September, when my story is told, because I'm just not at all techie. So that's going to be another experience, another box I can tick along the journey. So, yes, I'm just full of so much. I'm so blessed to be involved in this beautiful summit. And I thank you, Ruth, and I thank you, Archangel Michael.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
It is exciting, and I think that was so inspired. Obviously, it's Archangel Michael that's inspired, but so inspired to offer that opportunity that on the day that our interviews, part of our slot on the summit is going to be aired, that we have that opportunity to do a Facebook Live and be there to answer any questions anyone may have about what we are speaking about on our interview. That's just great. I love that idea. I think it opens the whole world up even more.
Yes, and September 20 is the day that, Anayah, your videos are being shown. So your Facebook Live will be on the 20th, and Carol Ann's is September 23rd.
Yes.
That is a day earlier for us in Australia, yeah. So that will be 1 day earlier for everyone listening outside the USA on Australia timeline. So, Ruth, thank you so much for giving us this opportunity and for allowing us, well, allowing is not really the right word, but for reaching out to us, following your guidance and reaching out to us and giving us such a stunning opportunity personally to connect not only with you and all the other participants and now our audience, but ourselves. We've been able to connect with ourselves in a very real and personal way. Life can get pretty busy, and the questions you asked of us on the summit, certainly for myself, gave me a great opportunity to really just tap into that part of me, that part of my journey. So thank you very much for that, Ruth.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
So what's next? Looking beyond the summit, what comes next for you, Ruth Anderson? Are you going to take some time off? Are you going to just regroup and recharge and sit with it for a while? Have you got a plan beyond the summit?
Well, the anthologies coming out by Christmas is going to be the next piece of it. So that will take some time. So really, I don't think the plate's going to be cleared until January. So I've got a ways to go here. Yeah. But I am getting some hints about another summit that could be on the horizon. So I'm just staying open to see what is coming next.
Fantastic. Wonderful. We wish you every single success.
Thank you.
Yes,
Carol?
That's very exciting. That's very exciting, Ruth, and we'll be waiting with bated breath to hear all about it, because this has just been such a wonderful opportunity and feel so blessed to be included in it. And I hadn't even thought of, see, this shows how non-techie I am. I hadn't even thought about the fact that in Australia it would all be a day earlier than the dates that are up there. So I'll have to remind everybody about that. So thank you for mentioning that, Anayah, and thank you, Ruth. I've really enjoyed our talk today. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bet. So what I didn't express that very well. In Australia, it's the next day. If you're in the USA listening, right, it's the 19th. I know. I have been on air now for almost 9 years, and I still get myself in a muddle over this stuff. The best thing to do, go to enlightenedworld.online And you can find out all that information. And, of course, it's all on our Facebook page on Angel Heart Radio as well. Everything you need is there as well. So you've got plenty of places to check in and see how you can participate. But, again, really, just go and have a look at all those speakers. It's a fantastic thing to see who draws my attention. Oh, Rebecca Hall's really grabbing me at the moment. So she's an influencer and divine connector. Oh, I love it. I love it. I just love the fact that we are constantly being guided and given all these opportunities in so many ways. Every area of our lives.
You will absolutely love Rebecca Hall Grader. So one of your lifelong things. My hope is that we have a summit in person with the speakers and invite guests to come participate, learn from these women, and get to enjoy them in real community. So I hope you get to meet her.
Oh, me too. Me too. Everyone, thank you so very much for being with us today. And this applies to you no matter when you are listening, no matter what time. It can be a month from now. Hopefully you're going to hear this in plenty of time to really connect in with that summit. But in 1 month from now, because I said those words, in Australia it will be the 25th, and there will still be time left for you to go and RSVP to get the... Oh, no, hang on, that's not right, is it, Ruth? How does that work? I've got myself confused now.
People can register anytime. Yeah, they really can register anytime, but they may miss some of the videos because they're only available 72 hours. So if they signed up on September 12th, they would miss, 10 days worth of videos. So sooner is better than later.
But the cool thing is they can still buy the All Access Pass. That was what I was trying to say. You don't ever have to miss out. You can buy that All Access Pass for $129, but your early bird is $99. So what I'm trying to say is if you're hearing it now and you're feeling connected and guided, you haven't missed out. That's the great thing. You will not miss out. So fantastic. Because everything's in perfect timing.
Correct.
Ruth Anderson, thank you so very much.
Well, I love you both, and it's an honor to be with you on your show, so thank you.
Thank you, Ruth. We love you too, and it's just been a wonderful, wonderful discussion this morning, and I'm really feeling very blessed. Thank you.
And I could say exactly the same thing because it is how I feel. So thanks, everyone. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for choosing to listen to this wonderful experience and for choosing to go and see who really excites you and draws you just by looking at the pictures of the enlightened women who are on this summit. Thanks, Ruth. We are excited to be a part of this and really look forward to sharing as each step unfolds. Thanks so much.
Great. Can't wait to meet all of your people here. Thank you.
Thank you. Carol,
Thank you.
Another wonderful program. Always fun to share with you, Carol.
Thank you, Anayah. It's been just great. It's been really fun. Thank you.
Thanks, Carol. Thanks. And thank you. Thank you for being with us. And I'd like to remind you to be kind to you. To be good to you. You matter in the world. You make a difference. You're here for an important reason. And every single day, you matter, and your contribution to the energy on the planet is something that is beautiful for us all.
You've been listening to another fabulous program on Angel Heart Radio. Our goal is to remind you of how much you matter in the world, and to let you know that we appreciate who you are in the world. You can check out who's on, when we're on, and who our guests are at angelheartradio.com. Everything is there. It's all just one click away. Angel Heart Radio programs are powerful tools to help you in your life and your life experience. They are not intended, nor should they, be used to replace your medical or legal advice. The views expressed by hosts, co-hosts, callers, guests and associates should not be construed as advice, from Angel Heart Radio.